Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today we're going to be replacing the battery on this TAG Heuer Link ladies watch. So the process is easy to do and you can save yourself a lot of money. Now the battery that goes in it are actually very cheap. This particular watch takes a Renata 364 battery, and you can get these between £1 and £2 UK pounds on places like eBay. So it's very cheap and it's a very easy process to do yourself. Now the tools we're going to be using in the video, because this particular watch has a screw on back, so it's a little bit more complicated than the very cheap watches you get. But you can get this set here for £20 from places like Amazon. And the very basic tools, they're very cheap Chinese copies of proper tools. But if you're only changing your battery once a year or once every few years on different watches, then it does the job. When we replace the battery, it's no longer going to be guaranteed to the depth it was before. So this particular watch is guaranteed to go down to 200 meters. But when we replace the battery, we're not going to be able to do a pressure test on it. So it would no longer be guaranteed to work to that depth. If you were to send this away to TAG, they would change the battery, change the seal, and then do a pressure test, and it would be guaranteed up to that depth. But we're not going to be able to do the pressure test. But this particular watch here has never even been in the sea. So most watches, you find that people don't use them as divers watches because this particular watch really wouldn't work very well as a diver's watch. So does it need to be guaranteed to 200 meters? No. Even if it was to let water in, it's not the end of the world, because you can actually get the movements for these watches very cheap. This is an original ETA movement and they cost between £20 and £30, and with basic tools you can do it yourself. So I've already had to replace the inside of this, not because of a faulty battery or letting water in, just because it failed. And all I needed was this set here, and I also had to get these little punches to allow me to put the hands back on. But again, these were under £10. You get the set for around £20. So for £30 UK pounds, you'll find that you'll be able to do most repairs on your watch yourself, and it saves you having to pay the £200 or £300 that TAG's charging, and also it saves you having to lose your watch for a few weeks. So it's a process that you can do yourself. So let's do it now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some gloves on. You don't have to do this, but it will just help keep the watch clean and the battery clean. Now I'm just putting this little protective cloth in here. I'm going to be using this to clamp the watch down while I unscrew the back. Now it would be easier if you were to undo the bracelet, but I want this process to be as easy as possible, so I'm not going to undo the bracelet, because then that will be another job that I would have to do. So I'm just going to butt that up. I'm not going to do that too tight. And what I'm going to do is there's enough room for me to work in here without undoing the bracelet. Obviously, if you find this hard, or if the tool in your set is bigger, then you will have to undo the bracelet to open it out. So all you have to do is you have to adjust these things here by turning this for the bottom one and turning this one here to move the outer two in and out. So obviously this tool will do a bigger watch like this. It will also do a small watch like this. Now you can tell on this watch here that it's a screw on back. Most quality watches are, because it's got these little indentations all the way around it that allow you to put the tool into it. On the cheaper watches you can normally just pry off the cover, but on these ones you need to unscrew them. So you need to get the adjustment right, which I've already done. So I'm going to be putting it in there like so. So if you have a look, just make that a little bit tighter. If you have a look now, I've got each of the prongs in each of the indentations on the way round. So now I'm going to lay it flat on the table, and I need to push it round in an anti-clockwise motion. There we go, and already that's come undone. So I'll just give it a little bit more of a turn, and now hopefully I will be able to do it by hand. And you can see now that the cover is coming off. So we're going to put that to one side, and the little rubber seal, the little rubber O-ring that goes round it, is left on the watch. That's this black thing around here. Right, so if we get in nice and close now, you can see that there's a little spring that covers the battery here. So we're going to be lifting that off. Now if you want, you can make sure it's in the correct orientation when you take it off, but when you go to put it back on, there is little different sizes on here, so it will only actually go on one way. And what we're going to do is we're just going to pop the battery out like so, and now we're going to get our new battery and we're going to put it in. So this is our new battery here. Now the way it's going to be put in is the same way that we took out the old battery. So if you look closely, So you can see the top side is just flat, which is the positive, and underneath we have the negative. So we need to be putting the negative down into the watch with the plus side showing. So we're just going to nice and gently push that in there like so. So now that is the plus side showing there. And when we come to put the spring back on, if you have a look, we've got little gaps here around the battery, and if you have a look here, we've got little bits that come down, and some are wider than others. So that's a wide one, that's a narrow one, and here we have a wide one as well. So when you put it on, I'm just going to randomly put it on and see where it sits down flat. Right, so I can see there, it's gone in there, but it's not flat, so I know it's not going to be that one. So I'm just going to rotate it round a little bit more and try and put the prong in the next hole. And again, I've got that one in there, but it's still not fitting flat. So I'm going to rotate it one more time. You might be lucky and you might get this first time, or when you take it off, just be careful and then you'll be able to get it back on the same way. There we go. And now can you see it's sitting completely flat and none of it's sticking up. So I now know that that's the correct way. Now what you can do, if it's particularly dirty around the edge here, you can just give it a little clean around the rubber seal. But this one looks quite good. So now I'm going to get the cover and I'm just going to put it on, and to begin with I'm just going to do it up by hand, and then for the last little bit I'm going to use the tool to get it nice and tight. So you can see nice and gently I'm just turning it there, and you can see that it's screwing on nice. So there we go, that's hand tight now. So now I'm just going to put the tool into it again like I did at the beginning. And this time we need to be just turning it clockwise just a little bit, just to tighten it up. There we go, so I know now that's nice and tight, it's not really wanting to go anymore. And although I can't pressure test it, personally I would be happy to wear that. Well, it's a lady's watch, but my wife would be happy to wear that in the sea or in a swimming pool. I know that the back is on nice and tight, and if you have a look now, you can see that the second hand's moving round. So all we now need to do is adjust the time. There we go, so now hopefully that will keep working again for another couple of years, and then when it goes again, I know that I can nice and easily change the battery again for the sake of spending a couple of pounds. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and please subscribe for more how-to videos. Take care, bye now.